The wind moves across Yakutia like something alive, carving the snow into sharp ridges that catch the light. Here, at minus 67 degrees, the air itself hesitates before entering the lungs. The landscape stretches white and unbroken, a place where survival is measured in hours, not days. In a cabin darkened by pre-dawn cold, a woman sleeps beneath layers of wool and fur. Her breathing is shallow, controlled. 70 winters have taught her body to conserve. The skin of her face, deeply lined and weathered to the texture of old leather, barely moves in the dim light. Her hands, gnarled and thick-knuckled, rest outside the blanket. Each crease tells a story of endurance. She wakes without alarm, eyes opening to the familiar darkness. The stove has gone cold in the night. She sits up slowly, joints protesting, and her breath immediately materializes in the frozen air. Each movement is deliberate. Wasting energy here is wasting life. The morning routine unfolds in practiced silence. Crumpled birch bark placed in the iron stove. Kindling arranged with precision. The strike of flint against steel. A small flame catches, hesitates, then grows. She feeds it carefully, adding larger pieces only when the fire can hold them. Her fingers work despite the stiffness, despite the cold that has settled deep into the bones. She melts snow in the iron kettle. The water, when it comes, is used sparingly. She washes her face, the cold liquid shocking her fully awake. Then she dresses in layers, wool against skin. A second sweater, the heavy fur-lined coat that smells of smoke and age. Felt boots wrapped tight. She moves to the door, lifts the latch. Outside, the world is white silence. The axe waits where she left it, half buried in snow. She pulls it free and begins to work. Each swing controlled, economical. The blade bites into frozen wood with a sound like breaking bone. The pile of split logs grows slowly beside the cabin wall. Then she stops, lifts her head. Something is moving at the tree line. The tiger emerges from between the birches like a piece of the forest taking shape. Amber eyes fixed on the woman, massive shoulders moving beneath striped fur. But there is no crouch in the posture, no threat in the approach. The great cat takes 3 steps forward and stops, turns its head toward the forest, back to the woman. The pattern repeats. The woman understands requests, even from tigers. She sets down the axe. Her heart beats steady, though her mind calculates risks. The tiger could kill her in seconds if it chose, but it does not choose. It waits. She follows, her boots breaking through the crust of old snow with each step. The tiger moves ahead, pausing when the woman falls behind, waiting. They travel deeper into the forest where the trees grow dense and the snow lies in uneven drifts. The cold presses against exposed skin like a physical weight. Her breath comes harder now. Her legs ache. But she continues. The hole opens suddenly in the ground. A collapsed section of frozen earth, deep and narrow. At the bottom, barely visible against the shadows, a small shape moves weakly. The cub's cries are thin, barely carrying above the wind that moves through the trees. The woman stands at the edge, calculating. The depth, perhaps 3 meters. The narrowness, her age, her strength. She looks at the mother tiger. The great cat watches her, unblinking, waiting to see what the human will do. The woman returns to the tree line and pulls a coil of rope from beneath her coat. Always carried, always ready, she anchors one end around a thick birch trunk, tests the knot twice with her full weight, then lowers the other end into the hole. She removes her outer glove with her teeth, grips the rope with bare hands. The cold bites immediately into her palms. The descent is slow. Hand over hand, boots finding purchase against the frozen walls. Dirt and ice crumble beneath her feet. At the bottom, the cub lies on its side, breath coming in shallow gasps. Ice crystals cling to its striped fur like tiny daggers. Its eyes are half closed, unfocused. She kneels beside it, checks for injuries. No blood, just cold. The kind of cold that stops hearts. She wraps it in the inner layer of her coat, pulling the small body against her chest. It weighs more than she expected. 15 kilos, perhaps 20. Then she begins the climb. Her arms shake. The rope cuts into her palms even through the calluses. Each pull upward is a negotiation with gravity and exhaustion. Halfway up, her foot slips. She swings against the wall, the cub pressed between her body and the frozen earth. She does not cry out. She adjusts her grip and continues. At the surface, the mother tiger watches, motionless. The woman drags herself over the edge and lies in the snow for a moment, the cub pressed against her chest. Her lungs burn, her vision swims. Then she stands, wraps the cub tighter, begins the walk back. The journey takes twice as long. Each step is measured. Her arms cramp around the cub's weight. The mother tiger follows behind, close enough that the woman can hear her breathing. The trees thin. The cabin appears, small and dark against the white expanse. She has never been so grateful to see those weathered walls. Inside, the stove still burns. She closes the door against the cold and carries the cub to the warmth. But not too close. Not against the iron. Sudden heat can stop a frozen heart as surely as cold.
You'll be all right, little one.
She places the small body on the reindeer hide beside the stove, wrapped in wool.
Just rest now.
The mother tiger fills the doorway, then enters, lowering herself into the corner farthest from the fire. Snow melts from her fur, pooling on the wooden floor. The woman works. She melts snow in the iron kettle. When the water is warm, not hot, she dips a cloth and presses it gently against the cub's paws. Its face, its ears. Slowly, carefully, watching for any sign of response. Minutes pass. The cloth is dipped again, applied again. The small body begins to respond. A twitch of the ear. The eyes opening halfway, unfocused. The woman reaches for her stores, dried meat hanging from the rafters. She cuts small pieces with her knife, offers them at the cub's mouth. At first, nothing. Then the tongue appears, pink and tentative. Takes the meat hesitantly. She does not smile. She simply continues. Hours pass in this rhythm, small offerings, gentle warmth. The cub's breathing deepens, steadies. By evening, the small tiger is sitting upright,
Here, little one.
watching the woman move about the cabin.
Time to eat.
She tends the fire, adds more wood, prepares tea for herself. The mother tiger has not moved from her corner. Her eyes follow every motion, but she makes no sound. The woman returns to her chair by the fire. She picks up the knitting needles and red wool she had set aside that morning. Her fingers begin their work, the rhythm familiar and soothing. The cub watches the yarn trail across the floor, reaches out a paw, bats at it weakly. The woman allows it. Days pass, the cub grows stronger. It begins exploring the small space on unsteady legs. It sniffs at the woodpile, paws at the kettle, watches the fire with wary fascination. The woman lets it wander. She keeps her movements slow, her voice soft when she speaks to herself in the old language. Gradually, the cub stops flinching at her presence. She feeds it strips of dried fish softened in broth. It tears at the food with small teeth, growling softly, a sound that reminds her of summers long past when her own children were young and fierce in their play. The garment takes shape in her hands, a covering for the small body, protection against the cold that will come when the cub must eventually venture outside again. She works the wool around the forelegs, across the back, under the belly. The mother tiger watches this with what might be curiosity or might be simple patience. When the sweater is finished, the woman approaches the cub carefully. It does not retreat. She slips the garment over its head, works the forelegs through. The fit is awkward at first. The cub shakes, trying to dislodge it, then stops. Settles. The warmth is undeniable. The red wool bright against the striped fur. The woman begins a second piece. Larger. For the mother. Winter deepens. The trio moves through the days together. The woman tends the fire. The tigers rest, conserving energy. When food runs low, the woman takes her ice auger and walks to the frozen lake. The tigers follow, their prints mixing in the snow beside her own. She drills through 2 feet of ice, the auger turning slowly in her stiff hands. Drops her line into the black water below. Waits. The cold seeps through her boots, her gloves, finds every gap in her clothing. The tigers patrol the shoreline, their red coverings bright against the white. When the line pulls, she brings up a small fish, shares portions. It is not much, but it is enough. That night, back in the cabin, the woman sits with her tea. The cub sleeps against her leg, The mother tiger stretched across the floor near the door. Outside, the wind howls. Inside, the fire crackles. The woman's weathered hand rests on the cub's warm back. She feels the steady rise and fall of breathing, the rhythm of life continuing despite everything the cold can offer. She thinks of her own children, grown now and far away in cities she has never seen. She thinks of the years she has spent alone in this place, tending the fire, splitting wood, watching the seasons turn. She thinks of how strange it is that warmth can come from the most unexpected places, from creatures that should be enemies, from need that strips away everything but the simple choice to help or to turn away. In the coldest place on Earth, 3 bodies share one small heat. It is enough. It has always been enough.